Welcome to the joy of digital art. Today we're going to be painting a beautiful garden stairway that leads to what I call the narrow gate. It's loosely based on Matthew 7, verse 13. And we're going to get started right away with the beautiful sunlight coming through the trees. And you can see the final painting on the lower left-hand side. So we've got a lot of work to do. This painting took me about an hour. And we sped it up to about 20 minutes here. I'm using the salty watercolor brush, just getting down a lot of color. We're doing a lot of blending and fading, and we have to keep the background soft. And you'll note that, of course, we started with the background color, and the color I choose it's almost a pink, peachy mauve, maybe. It's just something that would add some warmth to this piece. I want this to be peaceful, inviting. I want it to feel like that you want to walk up these stairs and go through that gate and see what's going on the other side. And you know it's going to be beautiful, whatever it is. We're using the desktop version of Sketchbook, which you can download at sketchbook.com. And I'm using an XP Pen tablet connected to my PC. Trying to keep it all very simple, using very few brushes and a couple of pencils and a charcoal and a pastel just to get all the different textures that we need. Using a special brush, it's called a tattoo inker, and it's almost like two little brushes, but it gives you this beautiful little break. And in landscape painting, we don't want perfect. We want little breaks. Maybe represent the bark on the tree or little twigs and all kinds of little things going on. Changing the opacity to lighten that color up. And of course, these trees are a little further back. A pencil for more detail. Some of the comments from the other videos we had, people asking for the reference, to see the reference as we went along. And in this case, my ultimate reference was kind of paying some respects to Thomas Kincaid and his Garden Gate painting. I think in a lot of ways we make it our own here. Softer, it's definitely not as detailed. I would call it a study of his work. So instead of the reference material, what I have is I have the final painting showing in that lower right hand corner, so you can see where we're going. This painting, we will use the blender frequently. The Bristol blender and this regular blender brush. And the reason is detail is beautiful, but it's not something we should be seeing in the background. So the light is streaming in, it's blurring, it's intense, see here, I'll even use a little bit of the pinks to create these illusion of trees, far off. And blend it all back out again and bring in more white light and send it back and put down and take back. And it's not a loss, it's a gain. It gains your perspective. It makes your piece inviting. If I had too much detail back here, it almost wouldn't make sense, right? It would be, why is my eye going there? And now the dogwood tree, there's some detail here, and the beautiful white flowers. But we're getting closer. So that's the salty watercolor brush, and it was just small. Tapping. Every once in a while dragging to blend, but mostly just tapping. Some of the beautiful flowers that are going to be just past the gate. Just an indication. We don't know what's there. It's to be explored, it's to be imagined. We don't know what's going to be back there. But it looks like a great place to be. Some highlights. I'm going to bring in the overlay again. I'm creating a new layer. So this is the overlay of where we're heading. And bring it in now because we're going to be bringing in the stone wall that holds up the gate. You can see what we're doing here. Almost sketching, really. Here's where I think the steps should be. These are 3 or 4 steps. And then with the tattoo inker, bringing in that detail of the posts. Time for the ruler. This is a digital ruler. So if I was painting this in regular paints on a canvas, I would use some type of device to make sure my lines were as straight as possible. You can see I had a little bit too much on the wooden post, so I'm fixing the post, moving over the ruler. The ruler only allows me to paint right on the ruler, wherever the ruler is. So I've got 3 bars on each side now, perfectly straight. If they were off a little bit, it would grab the attention, it would take your eye, and we don't want to do that. We want the walkway to lead up, and then we want you to pass through the gate. And here's a beautiful part of digital art. So I'm able to work behind the bars again because it's a layer that's below the layer of the stone wall and the bars. So if it was traditional painting and I hadn't done this background yet, I would be redoing the bars again. But I can kind of just go with the flow, and as long as I'm creating these layers, I can go back and add in what I need to add in. It's time for the stonework, and I kind of estimated that the stone itself probably took about 50% of the time to create this piece. Can't rush them. They deserve the detail. They need the detail. They're individual stones, and it's fun. You could do stones all day. So I'm putting in some different shapes of different colors where I think the stones will be, and it really doesn't matter because until I start putting in the kind of the grout lines, the cement lines. It's just helpful to me. So here's the almighty undo button. I don't know if you saw that. Almighty undo button. The reason was I had the perspective off on the horizontal bars. They needed to lead off, not just be straight. Putting down and taking away. Here we go, one rock at a time. Just imagining where they are. Try to be as random as possible. There are stone walls that are built with an even structure. They're no fun. I like these odd stones. Just beautiful. Some highlights. All kinds of colors in the stones. Bring in the overlay again here. You start to work on the beautiful bushes and flowering plants that guide you up the stairs. It was important to start with the darks, so we laid down some dark. Don't be afraid of those darks. They are your friend. You need them. And I'm like you, I just, the light, it's fun. All that light is coming through. I want to show bright flowers, but you need some of the darker flowers. You need some of the darker leaves in order to show those beautiful flowers. So don't be shy of the darks. Reminding myself here that the light is coming through and shining on these steps. Adding in a little bit more of the yellow up in that sky. Just a touch. Bring it all together. The yellow leads you up through the gate into that back. Maybe these are azaleas, they're bougainvilleas. Beautiful flowering plants along this walkway. I'm looking at the original painting and making some of my own decisions. Kincaid was a big fan of the blue flowers, and I thought I would keep this study a little more simple. And so you see, I'll bring in a lot more white flowers. I'm really happy with the final result. Yes, you can be happy with your artwork. It's okay. Comes some of that light now. Watch this right here. It's just brightens it up. Wow. Look at that. Just the light coming. It's almost the best part of the painting right there. It's just shining through like Come on through. Come through the gate. I've left the stairs for last, but I need to get in some detail now so I can have the flowering plants and leaves hang over, and so I'll get the color down and then one by one build out the stone. Flatter stone on the flat part and then more vertical. It all helps the eye. Using the tattoo inker. It was a little strong here, but you'll see I'll take it back anyways. Experimenting as I go. Every painting is a journey. Lower the opacity. Beautiful effect. Instead of blending that out, I'm using low opacity on a pastel. And now we'll go really, really fast through these stones. But don't you go fast. Take your time. One by one. Build them out. Take them back. Build them out. Flatter stones on top. See how they're angled out towards you? More of an angled line. And then very vertical on the other part of the step. I use the kind of switch from the tattoo inker to it's called Pencil Pal. It's a pencil that has a little break in it. If I were to drag it across a white page, you would see almost dots. But when you get small enough, the dots become kind of more of a just not perfect line. The last thing I want are perfect lines when I'm doing stone, or even branches, or when I do my signature, we'll get the perfect pencil out, but for everything else, I like a little bit of a break. Fast. Making our way through all the flowers and the leaves. Dark shows those beautiful green leaves. Couldn't have done it without the dark. We wouldn't even see them. Adding some little twigs and branches, not too much. What's your intention when you do a piece like this? I love leading people into my paintings. The pathway to the beach, just the way the branches tilt. Look at even the trees in the back. Everything's leading you right to that main, up the stairs, through the gate. Slow down a little bit so you can see the work. Take 3 days with this painting. There's no rush. No rush. If you've enjoyed these videos, press that like button. It helps. I love to get these lessons in front of more people. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Hit the little bell. It'll remind you that Scott's done another painting. Let's go take a look. Let's see what he did. I really hope you enjoy these. We finish this piece, the narrow gate with the signature. We take a final look. I'm going to put a link to this entire playlist. I think we have 8 of these videos now, and all of them are tied to a Bible verse, so there's a basis for each painting, and we'll be putting them together in a group soon and making them available. Just want to say thank you for joining me. Peace and joy, my friend.